Cincinnati Bengals versus the Cleveland Browns. Brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By Mazda Cars and Trucks, including the all-new Mazda MPV. And by Apple Computer, giving you the power to be your best in home, school, and business.
Today in Cleveland, unalikes attract for first place Cincinnati number 7, the Bengals boomer, bold, muscular, mobile, strong-armed left-hander. Hometown Cleveland counters with number 19, Bernie, awkward but keenly accurate. The side-arming and cerebral Kozar is back from injury. Boomer versus Bernie and 80,000 fans. October finishes big in Ohio. A cool and crisp 40-degree Halloween Sunday in Giant Cleveland Stadium has gone to the Dogs. A sellout of 80,000 fans, certainly for the Dogs, their beloved Browns. The AFC Central, Cincinnati 7-1 on top. 2 games in front of Cleveland and Houston. A Bengal win would be fatal to the Browns' chances for the division hopes. A Cleveland victory would close the gap to just 1 game with 7 to go. Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen. The NFL certainly in the spirit. They scheduled 2 teams with Halloween colors in Cincinnati and Cleveland, and they host this game right near Lake Erie.
And Dick, this is a trick-or-treat kind of day. It's a treat for us to be here for this classic matchup. And tricks, well, Sam White would not show up here in Cleveland without a few tricks of his own, including that attack or no-huddle offense, which they'll try to run in this very noisy stadium today.
But I get the feeling it is going to come down to basics in this big game.
As it so often does, and the battle in the trench is key to this game. And if I were to look at one key, it would be to watch how well Cincinnati can run the football against Cleveland's defense. They were over 200 yards rushing in the earlier game, and that was the key to that victory. We'll watch it closely to begin the game.
Across the way, the Bengals head coach, the innovative Sam White, in his 5th year, recovering from a 4-11 disaster last season. He is 7-1.
Marty Schottenheimer just glad to be able to see number 19 back on the field. He said, when I handed my plays to the 3rd quarterback in a row early in this season, it finally hit me. He said, I am so glad to have our commander-in-chief back.
And the Browns have won the opening toss and will receive. Glenn Young deployed deep. Former Cleveland kicker Lee Johnson, part of a 3-man kicking team for Cincinnati. You see the heat waves from the sideline warming devices. The Bengals in black, and we're underway. This kickoff sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. Herman Fontenot for Cleveland. He's all the way to the 37-yard line. Fontenot, number 28. Here comes Kozar, his first home game of the season. Injured in the first game of the year at Kansas City. Manoa for the injured Kevin Mack. Ernest Biner has had trouble with fumbles. Reggie Langhorne replaces the injured Webster Slaughter. Clarence Weathers, a speedster, and Ossie Newsom, the veteran tight end, 6 catches away from 600. The offensive line protecting Kozar, and he's precious material. Farron, Williams, Rakosi, Fike, and Risen. Cleveland starts in good field position at their 37. It's about 45 degrees, partly cloudy. That's Newsom moving in behind Kozar. And now in motion, Manoa. And the big fullback from Penn State, 227-pounder, and already we get some extra activity defensively for the Bengals in their Cincinnati Bengal caps. Skip McClendon, Tim Crumry, one of the best nose tackles in football, and Jim Scow on the front 3. Leon White, Carl Zander, Leo Barker. Barker with a touchdown against Houston on a fumble recovery. And the veteran councilman for Cincinnati, Reggie Williams. Lewis Billups and Eric Thomas. Young back 4, David Fulcher and Solomon Wilcox. Speedy and Young, that defensive backfield. Brennan and Weathers now are the wide receivers for Cleveland on 2nd down and 8. Biner was moving forward. There's a penalty flag down. A fumble. And Cincinnati and Cleveland diving will wait for the signal. I believe the Browns did fall back on it. As Ernest Biner loses it, recovers, but I believe Biner was in motion. Dick Jorgensen is the referee. And this first call being thought through carefully.
Illegal motion, number 44, offense, offside, number 57, defense, penalties offset, second down at the line of scrimmage.
So negating penalties as Williams had lined up offside, and they'll play it over on second down and 8.
Well, maybe Ernest Biner has his fumble out of the way. He's had 5 so far in 7 games, 2 last week at Phoenix. That's been a big concern to Marty Schottenheimer.
The Bengals 7-1. Kozar, while he was away, the team 4 wins and 3 losses, returned to engineer the victory at Phoenix last Sunday. Biner way out on the right side with Langhorne. Sidearm incomplete to Biner. Well covered by Ray Horton, the nickelback, former University of Washington star. And Kozar now faces third down and 8.
One of the things you want to do against Bernie Kosar is to try and get pressure right up the middle, get someone into Kosar's face. He likes to step up to throw, and if you can get that pressure up the middle, you make it difficult. The other thing that he does is to throw that ball sidearm, as you mentioned, Dick, and with someone in his face, sometimes you can force the bad throw.
Manoah's out as Kozar goes to 4 wide receivers with Biner in the backfield with him. 9-man defensive front for the Bengals. Flag down, and it's intercepted by Horton. And Horton is out of bounds at the Cleveland 47-yard line. A flag is down, but I believe against Cleveland. It appeared the left tackle pulled up
Illegal
Paul
motion,
Farron.
number 74, offense.
That's right. Farron pulled up early, declined. Cincinnati with the first big break of the game.
What a great reaction from the defensive back as he just rolled back into that football and snapped it up.
Ray Horton. His first interception of the year, his 12th career.
Well, and here comes Cincinnati's offense right to the line.
No huddle. Boomer Esiason has Stanley Wilson and James Brooks with him in the backfield. The Boomer on the sidelines, complete to Tim McGee.
Now they'll go right close to the line, Dick, into what they call their sugar huddle, and they'll try to control the defensive substitutions. If they see defensive players coming onto the field, they'll quick get to the line, snap the football, try and pick up the 5-yard penalty.
And of course, with second and short, you're not going to get the nickel defense, so Marty Schottenheimer not sending in defense. Where we'll really see that is when Cincinnati fails to gain on first down. Rodney Holman, the tight end, in motion on second and 4. Wide open, but not able to pull it in is Tim McGee, as he was hit by Hanford Dixon, the all-pro corner.
If you got a helmet handy, put it on. You might feel like you're right there in the Cleveland secondary. McGee coming down, and there.
Here come the substitutions, and they caught him. There's the 5-yard penalty. No flag has been thrown, but Cleveland definitely had more than 11 men on the field. They started 2 men on, and Esiason quickly got them to the center and snapped the ball, but a fumble on the play.
White is saying there's no way you can't throw the flag. They had more than 11 men on the field. And that's that attack offense, and what Esiason will do is look to the sideline. He'll look to the sideline, and when he sees the players coming on, quickly gets his players to the line, snaps the football. But it did not work for them.
They call that set alert, and on set alert, everyone moves quickly, and that's why they stand only 4 yards off the scrimmage line. But the penalty is not called, and Scott Fulhag, the punter, is in. He'll deliver from around the 47. Gerald McNeil deep for Cleveland. Cincinnati worried about punt coverage, but no concern here as McNeil lets it drop. And it's going to be an outstanding kick inside the 5, out of bounds at the 3 with a flag down. And McNeil may have been guilty of calling a fair catch and then trying to block a Bengal.
I think he made 2 mistakes. He obviously should have fair caught that ball, had a chance to grab it right on the 10-yard line, Dick.
Now Jorgensen and company will sort out the flag. No matter how, unless against Cincinnati, it's going to be bad for the Browns.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the receiving team. Number 89 signaled for a fair catch, then blocked before the ball was touched.
There it is.
You go half the distance from the goal line from the spot of the foul.
Not allowed, and rightfully so. You give him protection as a fair catching receiver, and then all of a sudden he turns around and pops you. That's not right.
So half the distance. Actually, the ball goes out of bounds between the 3 and 4 yard line, and they'll mark it off from that spot.
That's half the distance, and that's going to put them right up against the goal line.
No, they mark it off from the foul, so it is at the 4 yard line.
Dick, you talked about the absence in there of Kevin Mack, and even though Manoah is a fine running back, he is not as speedy as Kevin Mack.
First timeout. 1946, the Hall of Famer, then fired by Art Modell in 1962, and those feelings still are not wholly healed. Brown goes on, starts the Cincinnati Bengals, and he's here today, the 80-year-old Hall of Famer on the far side. Arthur Modell, the head man of the Browns on the near side, watching these two teams in a critical game. Kozar from his 4 yard line, no score, first quarter, from his end zone. Has a man open, and Clarence Weathers has it at the 26 yard line. Weathers, who had only 7 catches on the year coming in. David Fulcher makes the tackle, first down Cleveland. Let's look at our other early game scores. 10-minute ticker. Rams a field goal early. Chicago has New England scores on an 80-yard pass play from Flutie to Fryer. The kick was blocked.
What a great play, Dick, so quickly to get your team out of that shadow of the goalpost. Field position terribly important.
22 yards on Kosar's completion to Weathers. Kosar slings it to Biner, well covered by Lewis Billups, the left corner from North Alabama. He's in his 3rd year.
They'll use Biner just like a wide receiver. Has excellent hands, excellent moves. They'll spread him out, and of course in doing so get flexibility. And I think that's something that Cleveland is working on both offensively and defensively, is to get flexibility out of the players they have on the field so that they're not as typed by the substitutions coming in as some other teams.
Kevin Mack not in uniform, a pinched nerve in the neck. So Marty Schottenheimer has only 3 running backs in uniform. Oops! Kosar has to fall on it at the 25 yard line. Kosar tripping as he pulled away from center, may have gotten caught up with one of his linemen.
We'll take a peek and see what happened to Bernie on that play. Looking from behind, he's got a man in motion. That's Biner coming by, and let's see if Bernie just hooked the grass. I think this turf is a little bit soggy in places, and it looked to me like he just got his foot caught a little bit. Well, he never has been the most graceful of quarterbacks, but that was one of his most awkward moments so far this ballgame.
Well, there's no question Kosar, who is quite a student of the game, won't have that much difficulty. Certainly didn't against Phoenix. 3rd and long. Weathers is open again. A first down at the 41.
Working one-on-one on Ricky Dixon, the young rookie who'd come in to cover him. And Weathers, who has always had the ability to get open. In fact, the defensive backs here in Cleveland hate to try and cover him, but he's had the rap of dropping the football, has dropped a lot of chances. Well, he's caught his first 2 here today. Same pattern, ran it very nicely, tucked it away.
And Kosar releasing that ball long before Weathers had made his final cut. And the articulation there, first down at the 41. This drive started at the 4. Kosar, Weathers again, flag down. Weathers out of bounds at the Cincinnati 38.
Ozzie Newsome calling the play for you, saying that's a holding.
Holding, number 29, defense, decline, first stop.
Ricky Dixon having trouble handling Weathers.
Well, they're going to have trouble when you're a rookie in the NFL, and they're going to come right after you until you prove you can handle it. There you saw Weathers again, almost the same identical play. Here is the isolation. Watch it right. Oh, that's not Dixon. That's
Eric Thomas.
Eric Thomas, yes. Dixon had gone on to the sideline, and you saw what happened. He got his back turned momentarily. That was too much.
3 Kozar to Weathers passes, driving Cleveland into Cincinnati territory at the 37. Brian Brennan, and a fine play by Eric Thomas to knock it away at the last second. That's Brennan, clever, but the slowest of the Cleveland receivers against the fastest of the defenders for Cincinnati, number 22, Thomas.
We have 2 huge lines duking it out today on the line of scrimmage. Some real hogs in there, and that was a quick get-off. There's Crumry in the middle, number 69, locked up on the center. Well, that's a battle going on in there today.
Fine defensive play by Thomas from Tulane in his second year. He has 5 interceptions, second in the NFL. Draw play to Manoa. Running room. Tim Manoa all array to the 21-yard line. First down. And this dog pound of Cleveland Stadium on its feet.
Manoa, a good back for this kind of play, and he's got plenty of speed. I talked about his speed not being as much as what you'd see out of Kevin Mack, but he is not slow by any means. And I'll tell you something else. You don't want to try and tackle him up high. You better get on those legs, or he'll run right over you.
That 4.2 average, the best of any Cleveland back. What a drive so far by Kozar and Cleveland. No score. 9 minutes left in the first quarter. Ernest Biner inside the 20, short yardage.
Dick, talking to veteran observers here in Cleveland, people would say that they have never seen this town so confident that they were going to win a game, especially a game against a good opponent, a hot opponent. It's after we have beaten Cincinnati. Well, Kozar brings that kind of confidence with himself back to the huddle, and certainly has given them a great start so far in this ball game. But they need to convert it into points at this point in the game to really make it tell.
Second down 7 for Cleveland at the 18 of Cincinnati. Into the end zone. Incomplete to Weathers, as that ball a little short, and good coverage by Eric Thomas and Ray Horton on Weathers. So he went to Weathers 3 straight times successfully. Thought he might get him again for a score. Clarence Weathers, his brother Robert, played at New England. He was the big guy, the fullback with the Patriots, out of football now with an injury. And Weathers is the little scat back who played 1 year at Delaware State.
Tells a great story about his first game in New England. Said he was in the locker room, had his jersey on backwards, said Weathers on the front. His brother finally came over and he said, "We're tired of laughing at you. Put your jersey on the right way."
Yeah, there are a lot of nerves today as well. 3rd and 7, shotgun Kozar. Uh-oh. Kozar able to recover it, complete it to Fontenot, but he will not pick up the first down. Ray Horton, who has been a major defensive factor for Cincinnati in this first quarter, makes still another tackle.
Kozar does not like the shotgun formation. Feels that it makes him take his eyes off of the defense. Well, he better have his eye on the football when it's snapped that high. He tried to go up and loop it and bring it down. In fact, was able to do it, but Fontenot couldn't pick up more than a short couple of yards. They're going to have to try for the 3 here.
It'll be a 33-yard attempt by Matt Barr, who has missed only 3 of 18 this year. Max Runniger, number 4, to hold. And Cleveland has the first points. .33 yards by Barr, 3-0 Browns. From its own 4-yard line, settles officially for a 34-yard field goal. being Halloween weekend, I was going to try to take your mustache off again.
No, it won't come off this time, Dick. We'll not come off.
How about this no huddle as a defensive player? That'd have to drive you crazy.
We had it done to us when I was playing. Norm Van Brocklin did it when we were playing down in Atlanta, and they went 11 and a half minutes. And I'll tell you, I was so tired, I was ready to drop. Cincinnati does not use it to try and wear you out, but they use it to try and control how you play defensively. We'll talk more about that later.
Matt Barr to kick it off. His kickoffs have been much stronger with his rehab after a knee injury last year. Cincinnati takes it out across the 20 to the 23-yard line as Mark Logan returns.
And you better get ready in a hurry. They're probably just going to come out and jump on the football and take it away. Well, let's see. Maybe he's going to go to his sugar huddle. Now, the sugar huddle is that short huddle very close to the line of scrimmage.
The thinking of Sam Weitz is that even in practice with no noise, you can't hear the signal, so why not line up closer to the line of scrimmage? Or there's noise here in Cleveland. James Brooks threw a hole on the left side to the 27. The offense for the Cincinnati Bengals as they quickly go into that short huddle. They call it the sugar huddle. Brooks and the rookie from UNLV, Ickey Woods. He's now wearing 30 instead of 31. McGee and Brown, the wide receivers. Rodney Holman, the tight end. Munoz, Reimers, Kozerski, Montoya, and Walter, a huge offensive line. Chris Collinsworth is in now at wide receiver, the veteran. Number 80, he goes wide right. Eddie Brown to the left. Second down, 6. That's Holman. And up the middle, Stanley Wilson, the former Oklahoma star, right into the teeth of that white-jerseyed Browns defense. Mike Johnson and Marlon Jones leading the charge. Sam Clancy, Bob Golick, Big Daddy Carl Hairston. David Grayson, the fastest of the Browns backers. The Johnson, that's the Band-Aid boys in the middle, Johnson and Johnson. Clay Matthews, the best of the linebackers. Cincinnati very concerned about him. Minifield and Dixon, the all-pro cornerbacks. Brian Washington, a rookie at strong safety. Felix Wright, underrated at free safety. Third down, 3. Almost caught on the deflection by Collinsworth. Almost intercepted by Felix Wright. A flag is down.
Let's watch Bob Golick. Bob Golick was back there in coverage in the secondary. Clay Matthews, one of the strongest and most respected of this defensive unit. Left side of your screen, 57. He's going to make a late rush coming in on a delayed blitz. He's right there to lever
Holding
Boomer
number
Esiason.
48, defense, 5 yards, first down.
Brian Washington, the safety man, guilty of the hold. First down, Cincinnati. That's a big call. It would have brought on the punt team for the Bengals, but the penalty gives them a new series of downs.
Washington was late getting to his assignment. He's the rookie back there, and they're going to pick on him.
We want to welcome those of you along our NBC network that were tuning in for Miami and Tampa Bay. We understand you're having some technical difficulties there. We'll return to that game as soon as we can. Dick Enberg, Merlin Olsen here in Cleveland, where the Browns have scored on a 34-yard field goal and lead 3-0 with 6:21 left in the first quarter. And Ickey Woods, the rookie, slams all the way to the 48-yard line and a Bengal first down. Clay Matthews finally tripped him up after a 14-yard pickup.
That's the kind of running that helped the Bengals to establish control of the earlier game in Cincinnati. And what it does is to set up their play-action passing game. Most of the passes they throw on running or on normal downs are play-action passes, and they're more effective when the running game is going.
You see Esiason turning. He'll call out the audible, and they'll pass it. They'll echo the call down the line. That's Eddie Brown in motion, the former Miami All-America. James Brooks. And a flag down as Brooks gets into Cleveland territory at the 49.
Max Montoya over to talk to the official. He chased the official around behind. Be careful, Max. You don't want to get yourself in trouble there.
10 yards yards against Cincinnati, and Montoya, 65, felt that if it was against him, it was a bad call. Aren't they all?
Well, it's a shame that the offensive linemen are only mentioned frequently when we have to talk about a holding call.
65, offense, 10 yards, still first down.
Dick and talking to Montoya earlier. Here he is coming around behind. You see him? He wants to talk to that official. What do you mean I'm holding? Harrison saying, yeah, you're the guy. You're the one that did it.
Boy, a guy that big doesn't even have to open his mouth to argue. He just shudders that body and you hear him.
You feel the ground shake a little bit when he comes your direction.
First down, 20. Boy, this is an asylum here in Cleveland. The noise level incredible.
Another audible call.
Esiason to Eddie Brown. They pick up 10 of the yards, but Brown pays for it as Hanford Dixon, the top dog. He was the one who initiated this whole dog motif here in Cleveland.
Eddie Brown going down inside. There's the bump by Dixon, which is so important. He's the very physical cornerback, and coming back to the football, and without that little move back to the quarterback, never would have been caught.
It was Eddie Johnson who really put the slammer on Brown, and Dixon followed up. 2nd and 10. Going long for Collinsworth and Frank Minifield. Minifield, who is 3/4 of a foot shorter in the way of Collinsworth, and he thought he was pushed.
Minifield is saying, look, I'm the receiver. I got position on that ball, and Collinsworth can't interfere with me at that point. A lot of bumping this year, a lot more bumping allowed, but watch the push-off right there, the shoulder, and there's no question. But I think what happened is that Minifield's body shielded that push from the official.
3rd and 10. Eddie Brown comes into the huddle for Cincinnati. Sam White's in his 5th year. As he said at the start of this season, he was on a 7-day renewable contract.
Talking to the players, they said there's no question that that was exactly what it was.
Timeout, Cincinnati. Cincinnati nothing. There's Charles Buck Buchanan, number 72. Look at that. 2 games, 4.5 sacks since he joined the club.
He's a linebacker masquerading as a defensive end. But he is quick.
Esiason into the ground, and the Bengals will have to punt. Boy, Collinsworth was wide open downfield.
Good pressure up inside. But Joe Waller did a great job that time on Buchanan, pushed him way wide. And you're dealing with Waller, you're looking at 42-inch arms. He used those big arms to just shove Buchanan all the way around.
The Ice Cube, McNeil, down at the 10 as Fulhag, averaging 37.5 yards a kick, back to punt. 10-man rush. Nice kick. McNeil at the 11. Nothing there except Bengals.
You want to talk about courage. McNeil, I got him in the locker room, and he's listed at 142. I said, how much do you weigh? He said 142. 137 with his clothes on.
Old McNeil, he can hide almost anywhere. He's so
sure
small.
Can. He may weigh 142 with his helmet and shoulder pads on.
Cleveland leading 3-0. Starts from its 13-yard line. Manoa. Born in Tonga, moved to Pittsburgh as a youth. Manoa short yardage. Tim Crumry makes a tackle. He leads the Bengals in tackles. Buffalo has scored to take a 7-0 lead at Green Bay. 2nd down and call it 9 from the 15-yard line.
Second down and 9 from the 15.
Manoa and Biner behind Kozar. Biner. Pickup of 5 to the 20-yard line. It'll be short of a first down. 3rd and 3.
One of the reasons that Tim Crumry leads this team in tackles and has done for the last 3 years is great pursuit and great anticipation. Look how he gets across the block right there for Cozy and gets off to get in on the tackle. Boy, that is great leverage, great nose play. Crumry is a former wrestling champion, and usually you get a guy who's a good wrestler. He works well against the pressure, feels it, uses the leverage to get underneath.
3rd and 3, and Kozar in the shotgun. Remember the last time the snap almost over his head. It was, in fact. With Cozy the center. Sidearm to Biner, and he has the first down at the 25. Lewis Billups makes the tackle. For Cleveland today, Marty Schottenheimer said, first we've got to win first down. We can't let them bring their nickel packages on, and we have to stop their running game when they have the ball. We have to establish the run, and then our kick game coverage.
Well, he didn't want to get bad field position. Both coaches really worried about field position, although Kosar had started that long scoring drive in the shadow of his own goalpost. So he's been able to take the team the length of the field already in this game.
A minute and a half remaining in the first quarter. 3-0 Cleveland. First down play. Kosar. Again to Biner. And the Browns' leading receiver fights for extra yards. It's a gain of about 5 before Joe Kelly, now in at linebacker, number 58, can make the tackle.
Pushing and shoving going on there. This is an emotional game between these two teams. There's no love lost. They know each other well, and the rivalry is a heated one.
Kelly from Washington. If you look at the Bengals keys from Sam White, stopped their kick returns. He was afraid of McNeil on punt returns. Pass defense coverage. Now, we've got to stop Kosar. He's not going to be shut out, but you got to be tough on the receivers. And we've got to beat their tough cornerbacks when we have the ball. First down at the 43 for Tim Manoa.
Watch Tim Manoa, and he's going to flat run over number 41, Solomon Wilcots. You see Solomon Wilcots, left-hand side of your picture. Watch what happens to Wilcots here as Manoa just blows right over the top of him and then finally gets pulled down to the outside. But David Fulcher weighs about 245 pounds. He's bigger, I think, than Manoa is.
Tim Manoa from Penn State in his second year. He blocked for D.J. Dozier. Now playing with the Vikings, Steve Smith of the Raiders. There's the end of the first quarter. In football, mad Cleveland. Quarter, Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen. The Browns dominating the yardage of the first quarter. And you mentioned the running game being critical, Merlin.
It certainly is, and the Browns doing a better job on that by far than the Bengals so far.
Cleveland having the ball 10 of the first 15 minutes, and they have the ball now. First down at their own 43. Kosar to Biner. What a move by Biner. Boy, he peeled around the corner with his chin just off the grass.
Bertie throws the ball sidearm, and when he throws it to his right, that ball tends to take off a little bit. Watch how high Biner has to go to catch this football. That ball almost overthrown, but Biner up to make a great catch and then spins out of the tackle by Kelly to get some extra yards. Biner, a fine athletic move, pick up the first down.
There's Biner, who played at East Carolina. First down at the Cincinnati 43. 3-0 Browns. Manoa and Biner in the backfield. Screen to Manoa, actually just a little dump off at the 41-yard line, a gain of only 2 or 3. Let's check the 10-minute ticker. Rams have kicked a couple of field goals at New Orleans. Bears by 1 at New England. Buffalo has a 7-0 lead. Bubby Brister has returned at quarterback for Pittsburgh, and they lead against the Jets in New York 10-0. Eagles on a field goal. Temperature in the mid-40s here on the shores of Lake Erie. Second down and 8. Down the middle, almost intercepted by Billups, intended for Brian Brennan. A reminder, our viewers will be selecting our Budweiser Most Valuable Player. We'll announce that at the conclusion of today's game.
Brennan's feet slipping out from underneath him as that ball appeared to be catchable. We have a flag down.
Offense, 10 yards, still second down.
Illegal use of the hands. Cody Rison, 10-yard penalty against the Browns. There's a messenger.
Messenger going onto the field. And Dick, when I first started to come to Cleveland, Paul Brown was the coach here. He was the only coach in football that was messengering plays on. Everyone else had the quarterback calling them on the field. Paul Brown behind the shadows there. I talked to him before the game. He said, yes, there are special memories in this stadium. He was a real innovator, still is today.
And teacher.
And a teacher.
Second down and 18 from the Cleveland 49. Weathers to the 39-yard line as he beats Eric Thomas. Boy, the timing on the pass plays for Cleveland. Kozar releasing that ball long before Weathers made his final move.
Bernie Kosar really has a marvelous understanding of where to throw that football and when to throw it. And you see that ball already well on its way to Weathers before he made his final turn. And that's what Bernie was talking about when he said, I need to be able to make those split-second decisions. When he is hot, it's like everyone else is in slow motion.
3rd and 5. Blitz, and that was enough to destroy the timing. Incomplete on the pass. Jason Buck applying the pressure on Kozar.
Buck, a #1 draft pick, did not do much last year, but is coming on now. That's Reggie Williams coming in on the blitz as well.
This is the
play before. That's the sidearm motion and the sidearm flip by Kosar. Boy, he does drop that thing down like a good sidearmer in baseball.
Max Runager, the former 49er kicker, bouncing it down inside the 10, covered by the Browns at the 9-yard line. Stephen Braggs there for Cleveland. And a flag. Ineligible man downfield for the Browns, and the Bengals say kick it over again.
I would think so. That ball on about the 8.5-yard line, 9-yard line, and they figure at least.
Ineligible downfield on a punt, number 50. Offense, 5 yards, still 4th down.
Van Waiters, who played at Indiana, in fact, was recruited by Sam White, who was the coach of the Hoosiers for a year and then took the Cincinnati job. Ira Hillary is the deep man for Cincinnati as Runager, the veteran, sets to kick again.
Let's see if they can improve that field position.
Fair catch, Hillary at the 13, so they gain about 4 yards on the penalty. Cincinnati does. A 31-yard kick by Runager. We have a timeout with 2 minutes gone.
You buy Acura Precision Crafted Performance exclusively at your Acura dealer. By the good time, great taste of McDonald's. And by First Brands Corporation, makers of Prestone Advanced Formula Antifreeze, STP oil treatment, and new STP Supra Wear controls.
80,000 at Cleveland Stadium to see the top AFC offensive team, Cincinnati, against the top defensive team, the Cleveland Browns. And it's the Browns leading 3-0. There's the huddle on the sideline.
Howard Mudd, the offensive line coach, talking to his troops. Wants to get some more secure protection for the quarterback, among other things.
Cincinnati, after the punt, begins at its 14-yard line. So far, the offense has been stymied by this tough Cleveland defense. Jim Riggs, the tight end, in motion. Double tight end Cincinnati. Ickey Woods wrapped up after a 2-yard gain. Sam Bam Clancy, number 91, former basketball star at Pittsburgh, made the tackle.
Talk about long arms. Clancy, another one of those guys that can pick apples without a ladder. He got about a 39-inch arm and about 6'7".
This is apple picking time back in this part of the country.
In this part of the world. There are some of the huddles that Sam White's crew use. We'll talk to you about those.
Now you see how the linemen lean and they pass the word down all the way out to the wide receiver.
That's called echoing.
2nd and 8. Good protection. Wide open is Woods. And the rookie fullback has a first down at the 32-yard line. Finally tripped up by Felix Wright. 16 yards on the play.
When they get to the line of scrimmage and Esiason makes the call, he can communicate the whole offense in small, short code words. One word for the play, one word for the snap count, one word for the formation, and then you'll see the players telling each other, sending the word out. Receivers will even run in from the outside. It looks a little bit funny, but it's a great way of handling things in a noisy stadium like this.
Eddie Brown to the left, Collinsworth to the right. James Brooks dances to the 36-yard line. A gain of nearly 5 before Brian Washington, the rookie safety man, with a tackle. New England has gone in front of the Bears 13-7. Flutie's second touchdown pass, this to Lynn Dawson of 13 yards.
Of course, it was New England, the only team to knock off these Bengals earlier in the year, and they beat them up quite handily on a very flat day for Cincinnati.
2nd down 6, Cincinnati. They trail 3-0. Sam White's the innovative head man, 43 years of age, the magic man for the Bengals. Brooks is slotted out to the right on this play, and now they run Woods to that side, and Woods is close to a first down. Now that Brooks is something. He's a little man. They list him at 5'10". He's probably 5'8", but probably the best blocking running back on the Cincinnati squad. They put him out there, and his role was to block for Woods.
And he did it. He'll block on Washington, number 48. Watch the block right here. 21 on 48. Rolls in underneath. Made that run possible.
And a first down, Cincinnati at the 43-yard line. Stanley Wilson now in at running back with Brooks. Collinsworth right. Brown to the left. 10 minutes left, first half. Brooks. Boy, he has quick feet. And a first down at the Cleveland 45-yard line.
I don't think there's a more explosive back in the NFL than James Brooks. They say he's lost a little bit of speed. Well, I'm glad I didn't have to play against him before that. Reamer's 75 out in front to block, but he doesn't need much of a space to get going. You give him a crack and he'll have it.
Oh, Cincinnati in Cleveland territory for the first time, trailing 3-0. Woods to the 38-yard line. Stiff defensive charge by the Browns, led by Eddie Johnson, number 51.
Little messages going back and forth between these players. Watch what happens after this play is over. Keep an eye on it here. Ickey Woods is going to end up on the ground, and there's a little message being passed back and forth here. Let's see if we can see it. There it is right there. Okay, you got me, man. Now get off and let me get back to the huddle.
Second down 7. The boomer. Oh, close to being intercepted. Rodney Holman, the tight end, was double covered. Hanford Dixon was there for Cleveland. Now here come the substitutions for the Browns. They hustle 3 men in, 3 off. That time Esiason didn't have time to get in that sugar huddle.
Well, either he didn't have time or his decision was that they didn't mind the substitution. Let's go back and look at that last play. Good pressure right there from Grayson coming from the left-hand side. Really smacked Boomer. But Esiason, one of the strongest quarterbacks in the NFL, he can take a beating.
Now this crowd trying to make it tough on the Boomer. Here you see him passing the word down. See the wide receiver coming in so he can hear the call too. Tight end Riggs. And he's close to a first down. I think he has it at the 35-yard line. Jim Riggs, the second-year man from Clemson.
They'll use a lot of two tight ends. Riggs, the man who picked it up there, but Esiason not afraid to just dump that football off. Early in his career, he might have tried to force the football. Not so here. Not available downfield. He'll give it to the dump off and play the percentages. Play the odds. It's one of the reasons that he's had such a fine year.
Buck Buchanan, number 72, trailing the play, made the tackle. First down, Cincinnati at the 35 of Cleveland, trailing 3-0 midway through the second quarter. Ickey Woods. So that was Norman Esiason to Elbert Woods. Boomer to Ickey. And short yardage.
The nicknames of the NFL. There's some interesting ones.
In comes Stanley Wilson, number 32. Out goes Woods, who was the NCAA rushing champion at Las Vegas last year, over 1,600 yards. Quite a rookie, 232-pounder. Drafted in the second round by the Bengals. 2nd and 8 for Esiason. Brooks. A first down and more inside the 20 of Cleveland, and the Bengals threaten to take the lead here in Cleveland. First to New York and Gail Gardner.
Thank you, Dick. Number 24, significant for the Steelers on the road against the Jets. Quarterback Bubby Brister faking the end around to Lewis Lips, goes 24 yards to number 24, Rodney Carter, on Carter's 24th birthday. 10-0 Steelers, back to Cleveland.
Thank you, Gail. Here in Cleveland, Cincinnati trailing 3-0. Matt Barr, an early field goal for the Browns of 34 yards. And this has been a very determined and impressive, patient drive by Cincinnati. A first down at the Cleveland 20. Stanley Wilson hit by Clay Matthews, and Mike Johnson, Bob Golick there as well.
Dick, one of the things that this Bengal offense has done this year is to finish the drives with points. Look, well, we're getting a little roughing going on down there. We'll get it back in there for you to see it. But you sense again the high emotional level of these two teams. In '87, this Bengal team ranked 2nd in yardage, but 15th in points scored. And this year, they're 2nd in yardage again. They're 1st in points scored. They're working effectively inside the 20-yard line. They're putting points on the board instead of just putting yardage.
Thus far, Cleveland has thrown a shutout against the top-scoring team in the NFL. It's 3-0.
Big Daddy Hairston. Carl Hairston, the leader in that defense. Well, there's some determination. It's a good matchup.
Now this is the noisiest part of the stadium, into that dog pound area, the open end of this giant horseshoe. 2nd and 7. Woods stacked up shy of the 15. It is a classic matchup. Two rivals from the north and south of Ohio, two totally different quarterbacks, and two teams, one that excels on offense, Cincinnati, and the other, the defensive team. Here's that quick huddle.
Boy, they're right back. They're trying to get him off the field.
And they got the penalty. There's the flag. And a free play for Esiason. Woods incomplete. There's a flag in the end zone and a flag on the sidelines, and there, boy, they really can get their men set at the line of scrimmage in a hurry.
Boomer will watch the sideline. If he sees people coming onto the field, he very quickly will say, set alert. They'll jump down into their positions. They'll freeze. They'll snap the football. And I think they had 2 extra players on the
12
field.
12 men on the field. Defense, 5 yards, Still third down.
We were talking with Sam Weiss yesterday. He said, if you want to see some fun, now and then we'll get an assistant coach or somebody in the way, and we'll just yell, set alert. And it's like 11 men running for the subway.
A fire drill. Well, but it is organized, and it is innovative, and it's a way for them to control defensive substitutions. If they want a defense on the field, they'll let them come on. If they don't, they'll go to set alert and keep them off the field.
That's a free 5 yards for Cincinnati. It's a double plus one. They already had the 5, but a free play as well. And it's third down and 1. Oh, we get bad news from New England. Jim McMahon of the Bears has been injured, a knee injury. He's out of the game.
Another quarterback down.
3rd and inches. Woods doesn't make it. Well, Woods knocked on the door, but no Halloween candy for him. They stacked him up and slammed it on him.
Will Weich go for it? He's not making a move to put a kicking team on the field.
Oh, that's interesting. 4th down, and, well, they lost a half yard, so it's 4th and 1.
And I think they're going for it, but boy, that was a great surge defensively by the Browns. And Boomer is saying he can't hear.
Timeout called by Dick Jorgensen, the referee. And that dog pound is really yelping.
Esiason talking to Jorgensen. There they are, facing into the pound. And it is, Dick, as you said, the noisiest part of this stadium. And boy, once you let them know that they are in the game and a part of it, they'll be even noisier.
You see, Marty Schottenheimer, he was a defensive linebacker. His team plays defense. Sam Weich was a reserve quarterback in his NFL career. 4th and 1, a big gamble by Weich. He doesn't go for the tie. He gives to Woods. He doesn't make it. A key player. You saw him crash in and force Woods wide, and Frank Minifield, giving away a lot of weight, comes up to make the tackle. Cleveland's ball. You hear by the Cleveland defense, stopping Cincinnati on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1 at the Cleveland 11. It remains 3-0 Browns, 5:12 left in the first half. Kozar feeling pressure, now throws, and it could be intercepted. Oh my, Eric Thomas had his beads on number 6. He had position on Reggie Langhorne. The other scores, again, Jim McMahon injured, the Bears quarterback, New England leading. Atlanta now leads Philadelphia at Veterans Stadium. Well, Sam Weich, he's an amateur prestidigitator. He likes magic. He likes to take chances. He likes adventure. He went for it. On 2nd and 10, Kozar underneath to Brian Brennan to the 22-yard line, close to a first down. Lewis Billups made the tackle. It'll be either a first down or 3rd and short. Sam Weich says that he likes to gamble and take chances. Fans are having fun. Players are having fun. Why not coaches as well?
But it's not much fun when it backfires the way that one did. And I'm sure he'll have second thoughts about it. But we're awfully early in this game. We'll remember that decision, though, and see if it does come back to haunt him.
It does open that second-guessing door, doesn't it? 14 plays for Cincinnati. They had the ball over almost 8 minutes without any points. 3rd and short. Now it's the Browns who need just less than a yard for a first down, and it's Manoa. Well, that's going to be close. Well, they spotted out close to the 23. That should be a first down.
What is that Eddie Joe Kelly has hanging out of the back of his pants. Looks like a tail he has down there. Look at, here's an interesting stat. We showed you what the Bengal offense has done. They've had somewhat of the same trouble in 87 on defense. 8th in yards allowed, but giving up big plays and points in 87. In 88, 10th in yards allowed, but only 11th in points allowed. Big improvement. Many fewer big plays, run and pass. There's the tail.
3-0 Cleveland with less than 4 minutes remaining in the first half. Those are intercepted. It is Fulcher, David Fulcher, for a touchdown. The big safety man playing right up on the line of scrimmage in a linebacker spot leaps in front of the receiver and has a Cincinnati score. 16 yards.
After being shut out offensively, the Bengals jump right onto the scoreboard with their defense. Number 33, and he is a linebacker. He's 240 pounds, 245 earlier in the year, but you see him there just like a big man at the net or a basketball player going up to steal the pass, and Fulcher is into the end zone.
Jim Breach has the extra point. And David Fulcher, the third-year safety man from Arizona State, his 10th interception, his first NFL score.
Baby.
The SWAT team, yes, sir, David Fulcher. He didn't swat that one. He caught it, and it goes 16 for a score.
I asked him earlier, I said, where did the name come from? I'm talking to some of the defensive backs. He said, well, we all kind of got together on that. Yeah.
Lee Johnson down to the 6-yard line. Herman Fontenot's got blockers. A flag down. Fontenot could go all the way. Johnson drags him down at the 10, but I think they're going to call it back. .86 yards. If.
Boy, I tell you, those yellow flags just bring out the worst in a coach when he looks over and realizes that he may have to give up that incredible return.
No, they're going to say it's against the Bengals. Oh, my. You don't often see a flag thrown down near the wedge that goes against the defense.
Personal foul, a blow to the head.
Yes.
87 kicking team during the run back.
Against Jim Riggs of Cincinnati. So Fontenot, it does count. Let's see it again.
You just had a feeling he was going to break it. A good return man gets right upfield. And you see him pulling out of one tackle there, cutting back against the grain. Some good blocking. That's Grayson, 56, using his speed to get in the way. And that's Riggs right there, number 87, the man who had already been ticketed for slamming a hand to the head.
They marked the penalty after the end of the play, half the distance, 84 yards on the return. 5 more down to the 5-yard line. First and goal. Manoah to about the 2-yard line. Solomon Wilcots and company with a tackle as Brennan comes in with a new play.
Brian Brennan, very, very quick, smart zone receiver. And of course, you're working into the shortest possible end of the field now. Not a lot of room. The defensive backs in particular have an advantage. They don't have to cover a whole chunk of field.
And it's where you can take a chance on a blitz.
You bet. Bernie got plenty of those last week.
Brennan right, Weathers left, Manoah going outside, touchdown.
Play designed to go inside, but Cincinnati lost their containment, and Manoah sees it and pops outside. Watch it here. He starts in, sees room outside and gets a good block by Ozzie Newsome. Ozzie's not a great blocker, but he'll give you all he's got.
Matt Barr hits the extra point. So David Fulcher goes 16 yards with an interception and a touchdown for Cincinnati, only to see Herman Fontenot return the ensuing kickoff 84 yards and set up Tim Manoah's second rushing touchdown of the year, as the Browns need only 2 plays to go 5 yards and the lead 10-7, just shy of the 2-minute warning. Let's check the scores again. New England, Doug Flutie has scored on 3 touchdown passes, 2 of them to his tight end Lynn Dawson, as New England trying to surprise the Bears, who are playing without Jim McMahon, a knee injury. The Jets kicking a field goal to pull within 7 of Pittsburgh at home. Phoenix leading Atlanta ahead of Philadelphia. Watch again Newsome, number 82, if we can see him on the far side, as he will seal off the corner, and that allows, there is Newsome and number 69 Dan Fike, and that allows Manoah to skirt into the end zone.
Biner also with a block. That's a team touchdown, but there's the man who cashed it in. He's a good enough player to be starting on a lot of NFL teams around the league. His opportunity came today because of a neck injury to Kevin Mack. But he is one happy Samoan right now.
Tongan.
Well, I better be careful.
Ira Hillary is the deep man for Cincinnati, as Manoah tells him how he did it. That's one of the great players hidden behind the stars of Joe Paterno at Penn State, the Doziers and Smiths, and Manoah getting his chance to carry more now with Cleveland and producing. The kickoff, Matt Barr. Short, very short.
And a flag. I think they were offsides.
And out comes number 27, Barney Bussey of the Cincinnati Bengals across the 25. We may have had an offside against Cleveland.
I don't know if they're going to want it back, though. They've got good field position on the 30.
Dick Jorgensen going to the Cincinnati captain.
Offside, number 50, kicking team, penalty decline, first down.
And Waiters offside for Cleveland. 2 minutes and 16 seconds left in this intense, emotional Battle of Ohio. Cleveland in the north against Cincinnati of the south. A Cincinnati win would put them 3 games up on Cleveland. Actually 4, because they would have beaten them both games this year. Esiason in trouble. A sack to Sam Clancy. Bob Golick set it up for Clancy.
Matthews also there, but it was Clancy getting to the outside, and Esiason, who has made so many big plays scrambling. He's not that fast, but he does make a lot of big plays after the play is broken down.
Now the left-hander for the Bengals to the sidelines at the 2-minute timeout with Cleveland leader in this stadium, Cleveland Stadium. Defensively, this has got to be your kind of game.
Oh, it is indeed. We've got a couple of great plays defensively. A big 4th down stop by Cleveland. A turnaround on an interception that goes for a touchdown. Big defense.
Ball at the 20-yard line. Esiason on 2nd down. He was sacked on 1st down. Up the middle to Holman. Incomplete. Broken up by Felix Wright as the tight end unable to pull it down at the 40-yard line.
Washington saying that ball bounced off a body rather than the ground, but the official saying no. A fine throw to Holman. He's beaten Grayson, number 56, down the middle, but couldn't tuck the football away. Boy, that's close to being a very big play.
3rd down, 16 to go. Esiason is only 4 for 9 throwing. In the first game, he was 8 for 23.
That's that sugar huddle again, Dick, as they finally get the word out.
Down the middle, and it's the veteran Collinsworth with a first down catch. They needed 16, and Collinsworth got him 16 or 17. Timeout Cincinnati with 1:43 to go. First half.
It's my favorite kind of day to play football on because you can run all day. You just don't get tired out there. This kind of crisp weather, your energy level stays high the whole game, and how lucky we are. I've been in this stadium this time of year when the wind was howling off the lake and you stood out there and just shook and shivered, and even when you were running around, you couldn't stay warm.
Boomer Esiason has just completed a critical long third down pass on 3rd and 16. His first down Cincinnati. They trail 10-7. A minute 43 left in the half. The ball at the 37 of the Bengals. Esiason has a man wide open, and he can't hit Tim McGee. Esiason was hit just as he threw, and it took a little off his pass.
Hanford Dixon had fallen down. Watch Dixon. Hooks a heel right there and goes to the ground. And Eddie Brown is all alone.
Tim McGee.
Or McGee is all alone. But the ball thrown just in front of him. Watch the hit. And it's Matthews, 57. And I believe Esiason had to kind of lean to get out of the way. And that took a little steam off that ball.
Boy, Matthews saved a touchdown with his pass rush. 1:38 left in the half.
Scramble.
Esiason ducks out of bounds at the Bengal bench at the 47-yard line. That'll be near a first down, 8 yards on the game.
You saw Esiason there faking the pass, but he was well over the line of scrimmage. I think that's what he realized. He didn't dare throw it at that point. But also by faking that pass, keeps those defenders downfield because they can't count on the fact that he's over the line of scrimmage.
Esiason was an outstanding high school baseball pitcher. He was 15-0 at East Islip High School on Long Island. He's looking to throw a big strike here in the final minute and a half of this first half, trailing 10-7. Inside to Brooks, still on his feet. And James Brooks to the Cleveland 45, a first down. Felix Wright finally drags him down. No huddle for Cincinnati, and this is where all that training really pays off in the 2-minute drill.
And you can use your whole offense. They've got it all keyed in to audibles.
Eddie Brown in motion. On the sidelines, short yardage to Eddie Brown, who was one of Bernie Kosar's receivers at Miami. At halftime, Bob Ahmad and Gale and company will have all the scores and highlights of the early games today, so stay with us for NFL Live.
Esiason, a character. As I talked to him in the locker room just before the game, he said, I'm kind of sorry there's no mud out there today. He said, I like playing in the mud. He said, I don't like playing on those artificial carpets. He said, we could get some rain and maybe some snow. We could really have fun here today.
He'll get his wish later on.
Oh, he will, definitely. Not here today, though.
Cincinnati with one timeout left, a minute to go, trailing 10-7. First half. Draw to Brooks, big hole. And Brooks into field goal range at the 28. David Grayson, Clay Matthews finally get on his back. No huddle.
Anthony Munoz at the bottom of a little pushing and shoving stack down there.
The far side, out of bounds, goes 89, Ira Hillary, the South Carolina second-year wide receiver. That's, again, a very patient drive by Esiason and the Bengals.
This is the kind of pressure situation that they have done so well in during the year. Esiason with that powerful arm, able to throw those 15 to 20-yard passes, those mid-range passes, as well as any quarterback in football.
Ball is at the 16-yard line. First down, Cincinnati. Into the dog pound as the noise level is raised a bit. Brooks again. All the way to the 5-yard line. Will they call their final timeout here? Apparently not. Esiason is just calling a play, and now all of the Browns are calling time.
Defense is trying to get a timeout.
Because they can't get the team on the field they want. Incomplete in the end zone. Tim McGee. I thought I heard a referee's whistle. We'll see if that play counted.
I think you may have gotten someone to call a timeout over there, but maybe not.
Timeout, Cleveland. The first one, the timeout was called with 17 seconds to go.
I wonder if they're going to...
Timeout.
Well, that's a break for the Bengals.
No play will still be
give them
first
the
down.
play back, I guess.
They give them 4 seconds and the play. They don't need the downs, but the 4 seconds might be a key for Cincinnati as the Bengals saved their final timeout.
And you see why they call that the attack offense. I mean, it really attacks what you want to do defensively. You can't get your people onto the field. You can't get your people off the field. It puts a lot of pressure on the defensive team.
As you may have seen, there's so many things happening in that quick huddle. Marty Schottenheimer had 3 or 4 defensive players he wanted in the game on 1st and goal at the 5. Because of the quick huddle of the Bengals, they couldn't get on, and so Cleveland called the timeout.
The other thing that's interesting about that attack offense and that no huddle offense, however you want to call it, is that once you do enough of that, you become so comfortable with it that it's nothing. It doesn't take you any effort at all. You communicate well, you don't have to worry about it, but it's so unique in its application here that it does force a defense to do a lot of thinking, and defenses don't do well when they're doing a lot of thinking.
Here's before the play, as you see, Marty Schottenheimer standing in.
The defensive coordinator along with Schottenheimer there.
There's Schottenheimer trying to get a timeout. And from such long range and all the noise, it took a while. They've reset the clock at 17 seconds. The ball at the 5-yard line. Cleveland 10, Cincinnati 7. Final seconds, first half. Incomplete to Ickey Woods. And in a way, for Cincinnati, that was probably their best chance, because had Woods caught the ball, he would have been tackled outside the goal line, and Cincinnati would have had to spend their final timeout to get the field goal team on. Cleveland has allowed only 2 touchdown passes in 8 games, both last week at Phoenix. Jim Breach hoping it's an extra point, not a field goal. 2nd and goal. Esiason doesn't make it. Boy, it looked like it was open. They called time with 4 seconds left.
Just barely getting that clock stopped. Esiason, a good runner, and he's not afraid to throw his body in there. But he just couldn't get squared up on the goal line and took a good hit that put him to the ground.
It'll be a short field goal try, and this time Sam White. Let's see who makes the defensive play. It looked like it was open right here. It looked like he had it. Look
It's
at
Eddie Johnson.
And Mike Johnson.
Mike Johnson, the 2 Johnson boys inside. I think the first hit actually by Mike Johnson, number 59. Looked like Carl Hairston also got a piece of it. And there is Mike Johnson there. Does such a good job in pursuit. Big play.
Jim Breach in to try the tying field goal. Of course, Sam White has a fake field goal in there as well. This is actually shorter than an extra point. The ball is inside the 2-yard line. It will be a 19-yard field goal attempt. And the game is even at 10. And that's the end of an exciting, defensively played first half.
They put on the board in the earlier game against Cleveland. And if Esiason and crew can continue to get that rushing game going, I think it will help to ignite their passing game.
Boomer and Bernie for Bernie Kosar, 11 for 19, 110 yards, but 1 critical interception that went for a touchdown, David Fulcher. And Boomer Esiason completed but 7 of 14 for 76 yards.
I think the pressure applied by the 2 defenses and some excellent tight coverage. And when I say tight coverage, that's people living on top of each other. And we've seen two defensive secondaries here today that have played some excellent football. A battle of clippings earlier in the week. Some animosity back and forth. Lewis Billups had been asked about Cleveland's secondary, and they were asking particularly about Frank Minifield, and he said, Mini who? And of course they've been after Minifield all week here in Cleveland, but the Cleveland secondary said, we'll let our play talk for us. Well, so far both secondaries showing some real toughness and giving these receivers difficult time.
They play the first half to a draw, 10-all. And Cincinnati will get the ball first here in the second half as Matt Barr tees it up. Ira Hillary, the deep man for Cincinnati, number 89. This kickoff to start the second half, sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. Barr sends it short, spinning. Hillary comes up to the 16. And Barr makes the tackle as he throws a cross body block, and he may be hurt.
He is hurt. Well, now he's up and moving.
He gives away a lot of weight and power, does little Matt Barr, but he went right in there, stuck his head in there and made the tackle, as Hillary, had he gotten by Barr, might have gone all the way.
We'll keep an eye on him as he goes to the sideline. It looks like he may have hurt that leg.
Esiason sets up camp at the 32. Caught and dragged down by Brian Washington, the rookie from Nebraska, as they work on Matt Barr.
He looks like he's saying, I'm all right. You see him right there throwing his body sideways on Hillary and taking the pressure, but I think he just may have taken a blow to that knee. He is up and walking and moving. By the way, the Bengals, with 3 kickers on their roster, if they were to lose a kicker, they would have a substitute even in the game.
2nd and 8, Cincinnati. Eddie Brown in motion. It's Wilson. Tripped up as he hits the sidelines, gets to the 39-yard line, 3 yards shy of a first down. David Grayson makes the tackle. Well, his dad will have a problem later on today, as you see that Browns have been most stingy. 3 points in the third quarter all year, none in the last 5 weeks. Back to Grayson's dad, Dave Grayson, who of course is a fine defensive back, played for Kansas City and the Raiders. They play each other today later on NBC. 3rd and 2. Wilson again. Going to be close. Mike Johnson angry with himself. He had Wilson for a loss, but Wilson able to fight free. And the 212-pounder from Oklahoma is close to a first down.
I don't think he has it, Dick. I think he's going to be about a half-yard shy. That's just excellent inside-out pursuit. And it looks like we've got a Bengal player down on the field. Is that Munoz that's down?
It looks to be 78 Anthony Munoz, the 7-time Pro Bowler, left tackle.
Here is that last play. Munoz right there at the lower part of your screen. I couldn't see what happened to him. As you see, the collisions inside.
Or is it Riggs, 87 rather than 78? Does appear to be Munoz. He perhaps, as you can see, just a couple of chain links shy of a first down, Cincinnati. But the first down not nearly as critical as how serious is the injury to Munoz. He's one of the very best linemen in the NFL, regardless of position.
No offensive tackle in the league has been as consistent a performer over the last 8 years as has Anthony Munoz, and he is up and moving. And the thing that makes him so important, here he is at, we'll go back and take a peek at that. You'll be able to see him in the left-hand corner of your screen. Watch for number 78. Let's see if we can see what happens to him. He's right in the left-hand corner of your screen. Yeah,
hard to see. You can see Riggs, 87, but not 78.
It may have been that he just got his bell rung a little bit in there. But his position's so important because it's that left tackle position.
They're not going to kick. Excuse me, Merlin. They're not going to punt. They're bringing their team on. Sam White, who likes to gamble, on 4th and less than a yard at his own 41. Oh, my.
They might try to get the penalty here. I think that's what they're doing. They're just trying to draw the offsides. They'll just run out the 30-second clock, which they have done, and now we'll have a punt.
It was worth a try. White thought, well, maybe we can draw him offside, but did not. And now a 5-yard penalty, and David Fulhig, the punter, comes on.
Well, we said there'd be a few tricks today. It's a trick-or-treat kind of day, and that's one trick that didn't work.
Well, and we're being treated, to be sure. This is a playoff, intense football. Deep to return, McNeil. He's 3 yards shy of the Cleveland record in punt return yardage, and he has just passed Leroy Kelly, the all-time punt returner. Did he fumble? On the far side, the way they were diving looked as if he might have, but apparently not. And with that return, Gerald McNeil, you see, an ineligible man downfield. Will have to wait to see whether or not Cleveland wants them to punt it again.
I don't think they will. They have good field position. And I'll tell you, it looks like a mixed master out there. People banging into each other.
Downfield, number 27, kicking team, decline.
So Leroy Kelly moves into second place. He had 990 punt return yards, and McNeil, who needed only 3, picks up around 10 on this return, and the Ice Cube is number 1.
Oof. Dodge salutes those who strive for victory with this edition of The Winners.
John's shoeless right on target when referring to the rocket right arm of John Elway. His ability to fire the football has brought the Broncos to a pair of Super Bowls. With the best years of his career yet to come, John Elway will continue to be a winner.
Today's game is brought to you by new Extra Gold Draft in bottles and cans, the one with a full tilt taste. By Dodge Cars and Trucks, on the street or off the road. It's the new spirit of Dodge. And by Radio Shack, the technology store.
Gerald McNeil, the Ice Cube, 17 yards on that punt return. He has 1,004 in his career, number 1 in Cleveland Browns history. Cleveland starts from the 35, a flag down. Manoah straight ahead for short yardage. Linesman comes in to tell Dick Jorgensen of his call. Cleveland's first possession of this second half, offside Cincinnati.
Offside, number 24, defense, lined up in the neutral zone. 5 yards, still first down.
When a defensive back really wants to play that man-to-man bump and run, he gets nose to nose. Well, Billups got all the way across the line of scrimmage from that last one.
First down 5. Derek Tennell replaces Ozzie Newsome at tight end. Ernest Biner way out to the right. 2 wide receivers, Weathers and Brennan to the left. It's Manoah. And Manoah, first down. That's the same play scored the Cleveland touchdown on. Tennell led the way with a good block, and Fulcher made the tackle. 7 yards from Manoah.
Dick LeBeau, the signal caller, defensive signal caller. That's Dick Seltzer in the white jacket there. Linebacker coach signaling in the plays. LeBeau with the black jacket and the orange stripes on the sleeve.
Former Ohio State star, All-Pro with the Detroit Lions. Same formation with Biner out to the right. First down at the 50. 10 all tie early third quarter. Kozar going deep for Biner and out of bounds. He was well covered. Joe Kelly, the linebacker, picked him up. Let's check the 10-minute ticker. New Orleans scoring on an Hebert to Hill pass to take the lead. New England still in front, and apparently McMahon will not play the rest of the game, knee injury. Buffalo gets a 78-yard interception return by Kelso for a score. 10-all. O'Brien to Schuler tying that game. The Jets in Pittsburgh. Atlanta back in front. Chris Miller to Floyd Dixon. Miami Tampa Bay scoreless. Boy, that's, I don't know if they're having a big rainstorm down there. Second and 10. Blitz. Kozar has a man open. Weathers. And broken up by Eric Thomas. Boy, that's tough man coverage by Thomas. He's the fastest Cincinnati Bengal, and he needed all the speed there to stay with the streaking Weathers.
Thomas, chewed up in his rookie year, has really come on strong. We talked about the improved play of this secondary. Look how tightly he covers there. That's about as fine a man-to-man coverage as you can get. Not only stayed on the man, but also batted the ball away at the last second.
Herman Fontenot, a good pass receiver, comes in at running back. He and Biner are back with Kozar shotgun. Looking at a 8-man front.
Biner steps up to make the pickup.
Kozar wide open. Is Weathers again. First down at the 38 of Cincinnati.
When you have a blitz situation, you know there's going to have to be man-to-man coverage. And Bernie Kosar is a master at finding that man-to-man coverage and then getting the ball to the receiver, as he did there, right into the hands of Carl Weathers for the first down.
Well, you may be wondering, has Weathers ever had a day like this? No. 5 catches, his best as a Cleveland Brown. He had only 7 coming into the game.
Bernie Kosar taking a pretty tough hit under the chin as he unloaded that football.
The game is tied at 10. 11 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Manoa, nothing there. Well read by Jim Scow, number 70, former Nebraska star.
This is not a big defensive team at those defensive end positions. McClendon and Scow, in fact, they're talking about Scow not being as big as David Fulcher. They didn't want to get the two of them on the scale about the same time. And you wonder how they will hold up at the point of attack late in the game. But so far, they are doing fine. And, of course, that was Scow making a big play on inside-out pursuit the last time around.
Second down, 11. Reggie Williams with the pressure, but getting the ball away for another completion to Weathers. So Weathers now with a half dozen. Ray Horton makes the tackle shy of the first down. An 8-yard pickup.
Bernie Kosar's unorthodox style, but boy, he can unload that football quickly when the pressure is on. 57, Reggie Williams coming from the right-hand side. Flick, the ball is gone, and it's complete. As Kosar able to spot that receiver, and that ball is on its way.
Weathers stays in. 6 catches, 91 yards for little Clarence. Third down and a tough 4. Langhorn, first down at the 25. He took quite a pop. Lewis Billups and David Fulcher.
You try and intimidate the receivers as they come in. Watch number 33 right there. Fulcher put the pop on him, and Langhorn was just intent on spinning that football. He said, hey, go ahead and hit me. I got the first down, man.
Langhorn is a big target, 6'2" and a solid 200.
He's a fine receiver and loves to go inside for that football.
That was his first catch. Good drive by the Browns. Moving into position to break this 10-all tie. And Manoa with 4 up the middle to the 21. Whoops. 58 Kelly swinging a fist, and that could get him thrown out.
This game has hovered right on the emotional edge, as you've seen pushing matches along the line on both sides, and a lot of dialogue back and forth as well. You almost feel that at some point things are going to explode.
Let's go Browns. They cheer here in Cleveland. Kozar says, we like your support, but shut up.
Quiet so I can hear the signals.
2nd and 6. Viner, no gain. They have lost a half yard. And again, the tackling is hard and almost overzealous at times.
We saw Kelly drawing a little bit in there moments ago. This is a close-up. Boy, you see the intensity in those eyes. Watch the play as it is Kelly who goes in underneath the submarine Biner. What a fine play by the linebacker. A couple of weeks ago, he had a bad knee. They had to forcibly keep him off the field. He wants to play that badly.
Actually playing with 2 bad knees.
Well, the bad knee became the good knee.
3rd down and 7 after the loss of a couple. Underneath, Fontenot was wide open. That was good for a first down, maybe a touchdown. He tried to run before he had pulled the ball, tucked it safely away.
Concentration, and you see Fontenot talking to himself. Not only a ball that should have been caught, but a costly error. Here it is, across the middle in traffic. He's got a 5-yard lead, and I think he might have been able, as you say, to have been able to break it into the end zone.
It'll be 39 or 40 yards for Barr to break the tie. He's got it. Matt Barr is 17 for 20 this year. Cleveland back on top. It goes to Barney Bussey. No, it's Logan. Logan at the 15 and out to the 21, 22-yard line. Mark Logan, who played at Kentucky. Let's go back to the field goal. Max Runniger, the punter, holding for Matt Barr. Perfect hold by Runniger. And when you're both 32 years of old, you're not kids. How do you celebrate to take the lead? Cool.
Well, we worried about Barr possibly being hurt after making that tackle on the kickoff. He's fine and obviously happy with his holder, Max Runniger.
Now Cincinnati trailing 13-10. 7 minutes left, 3rd quarter. Washington on a safety blitz. They pick it up. Oh, but almost intercepted. David Grayson was there for Cleveland. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Cleveland Browns and the National Football League is prohibited. The game is the property of the National Football League. Cleveland and Cincinnati, all rights reserved.
Oh, we're getting some great sound from the field, Dick. You can hear the pops out there all the way up into the booth.
James Brooks is smothered in a sea of white-brown jerseys. Mike Johnson, academic All-America from Virginia Tech, playing in the middle of that defense. Number 59 leading the charge, along with Frank Minifield, number 31 on the corner.
There's Munoz back in the game. And as we mentioned, there are certain people along the line that you have got to get a blocker on. In pursuit in particular. Mike Johnson is one. Clay Matthews is another. Little cheerleading going on out there by Frank Minifield.
3rd and 8. Incomplete to Eddie Brown. Boy, the coverage downfield is just brilliant by the Browns.
Well, you want to know why these offenses are having a little trouble today? It's hard to find an open receiver. Also hard to get open to get in on the quarterback. Anthony Munoz, 78, right there, working on Carl Hairston, Big Daddy. And here's the matchup on the other side. There's Hanford Dixon working on Collinsworth and keeping tight coverage on him.
Oh, it's blocked. Herman Fontenot, touchdown, Cleveland. A flag is down. A flag is down. Fontenot, who had the long kickoff return, picks up the block punt. Let's see if it counts.
And Fontenot was a flag on the ground on that kickoff return as well, but it went against Cincinnati.
Downfield on the front. Offense, decline.
And again,
it was against the Bengals. Well, we said it would be a big defensive play, and there it is.
watch the rush right here. The diving block. Beautifully done. That's Minifield, I believe, 31. And right there, Fontenot just doesn't want to lose that football.
It appeared to be Minifield, 31. The veteran cornerback. Here's the try for point. And they love it in Cleveland, 20-10.
It's just like checkers. It's triple jump. It's boom, boom, boom.
You make the right choices, you get to the prize.
Yours.
One of those prizes is Pontiac Grand Prix.
I got a winner here. I don't believe it. Yes!
Millions of people are winning big at Burger King. Betty McCoy won a car, Robin Fortune won a cruise, and Larry Wilson won $10,000. There are still millions of prizes to win, so hurry in and play triple jump checkers at Burger King.
It's the right shot at the right time. Bring the top score is the bottom line. It's a new game. It's another round. The silver bullet won't slow you down. So come on, it's a Coors Light. It's the right beer now. To the good life, yeah. Good life, yeah. So come on, it's a Coors Light. It's the right beer now.
I don't want to move.
I like people that you trust.
Why not? I won't know anyone.
Making new friends is easy.
No, it isn't.
Sure it is.
Not for me.
You made one already.
Who?
Me.
They're one in a million.
Inside, and Minifield coming around behind that will be able to make the block. Fontenot inside, and Minifield for the block, and then Fontenot right back for the touchdown.
Barr's kick comes down to Ira Hillary, and Hillary returns to the 30-yard line. For the first time, a team leads by more than a touchdown. Cleveland in front, 20-10, with 5:48 remaining in the third period. Stephen Braggs made that last tackle. There's Minifield. They call him Sky. He's 5'9" or shorter, but he can leap, 44-inch vertical leap.
And right now, he's saying Minifield, not Minahu. Minifield.
That's right. What a play. And now this crowd turns up the volume another notch. Esiason sliding at the 34, a gain of 4, other scores. Rams on 3 field goals lead at New Orleans early in the 4th. New England still in front of the Bears, and Buffalo apparently is going to go 8-1. Pittsburgh and the Jets tied. Dallas leading Phoenix. Cowboys really hungry. Miami now 2 touchdowns up on the Bucks. And Atlanta leads Philadelphia, surprised by 10 at the vet. Brooks. Well, Brooks turned a loss into a couple-yard gain before Frank Minifield on the far side can make the tackle. Here comes the substitutions on. And Esiason will not call the quick huddle.
They were able to get them on and off in that situation. Esiason waiting for his own substitutions here.
Of course, he has plenty of time. The 45-second clock is at 18. 3rd and 4.
And in a situation like here, the defense has to be at the ready. And that's a wearing kind of thing.
5 seconds on the clock. Complete to Eddie Brown. And boy, that had to be a perfect pass. Mark Harper was right there on the coverage, and Esiason right through the eye of the needle to the speedy Brown, and a first down.
Mark Harper, there are actually 5 cornerbacks on the roster, although Blaylock is not active today. And you see Mark Harper trying to get the bump right there, not able to get the bump on Brown. But again, when Sam White's talked to us about catching passes in those close coverage situations, that's exactly what he was talking about there.
Cleveland leads 20-10, and they stack up the running game. Stanley Wilson into the arms of Mike Johnson. Johnson's quite a story out of Virginia Tech. He played in the USFL. He's an architectural engineering graduate. Very bright. In fact, in the off-season, he was a member of a spelling bee team. There were 21 corporations in Cleveland. They had a spelling bee, and Johnson joined 2 others in the Cleveland Browns organization, non-players. He said he was not only the captain, but the best speller of the lot.
Well, he knows how to spell knock 'em down.
That's right. With a capital K.
Blitz.
Underneath to Brown again. It'll be close to a first down at the Cleveland 38-yard line. Minifield on the coverage.
And Esiason doing exactly the same thing we talked about Kosar doing earlier in the blitz situation, able to find the man-to-man coverage and take advantage of it, again with a perfect throw.
In case you're just joining us late, Dick Henberg with Merlin Olsen. It's a game of high intensity. Neither team has been able to sustain a long offensive drive to a touchdown. We have had field goals. The touchdowns, 2 of them on defensive plays. David Fulcher of Cincinnati, a 16-yard interception for a score. And Fontenot has scored on a block punt. Minifield blocking the punt of Fulhag for a Cleveland score. It is a first down Cincinnati. And we had an 84-yard kickoff return by Fontenot that set up a short 2-yard touchdown, a 5-yard drive. So neither offense, although they've moved the ball down the field, have been able to go all the way for 7. 20-10 Cleveland. And that #1 pass defense in the league has been tough on Esiason. Complete to McGee. Hanford Dixon pushes him out of bounds at the 15. 23 yards. McGee, the #1 pick out of Tennessee.
Hanford Dixon has been playing an awful lot of bump and run. He is way off on this one, laying off and laid off a little too far.
McGee, who has afterburners with that tremendous speed. He was just kind of running, looked like 3/4 the whole route.
Deceptive speed, though, covering a lot of ground.
McGee and Brown both to the right. Ball on the 14-yard line. Good play action. And he throws it away. McGee was the closest Bengal.
Esiason so comfortable with this offense, shaking his head. I'm sure saying I should have done something else, but that's a good call. Get rid of that football. Don't take the sack. You've only got a 2nd down situation here. You got opportunities to score.
And what if Sam White is a former umpire? He just gave the signal in baseball for a home run. I guess he's looking for 7 here.
He's looking at his list. He's got all the plays for the various defenses down there. He's saying, okay, what do we want to go to next?
He's calling the audible.
Bump and run. They got 8 men up.
There it is. Incomplete, and what a play by Minifield. Eddie Brown appeared to have a possible touchdown, and Minifield at the last minute put his hands in there and knocked it away as he had a game.
He has had an outstanding game, and they're challenging those defensive corners pretty darn well, but they couldn't get anything in as Minifield recovered it with his great speed at the last second and just flicks the ball away. Watch him here at the last second. Will turn around and get his hand up onto that football. Great reactions to the football.
He was a starter in the Pro Bowl along with Hanford Dixon. 3rd and 10. James Brooks. And the draw did not fool the Browns. Clay Matthews, 57, down around the ankles of the ball carrier. Carl Hairston and Mike Johnson. So the kick team comes on, and Jim Breach will try a field goal for Sam Weich.
Weich, I think, trying to cross the Cleveland defense up in an obvious pass situation, trying to bust things open with the trap up the middle, but it didn't work. Let's see if Breach can put them within a touchdown.
A 32-yard attempt by Breach. He's 4 for 6 on the year coming in. And the man with the smallest feet in the league, he wears a size 5 shoe, nails it through, and it's a 2013 game. A 32-yard field goal by Jim Breach with a minute left in the 3rd quarter. You're going to take me trick-or-treating. I know how we can go. I'm going to go as Minifield. You go as any wide receiver. We'll be close together.
We'll be right side by side. Boy, what some great coverage by the defensive backs we've seen today. And it's been a day of big plays, but the even match between these two teams continues to give us a lot of excitement. I'm enjoying watching this game.
This has been the game of the year thus far as Lee Johnson drills it downfield to Fontenot. Remember, he had an 84-yard return in the first half. Not this time. He's down at the 25-yard line. And Fontenot holding the back of the knee, and that is always an ugly reaction.
And we mentioned that there are only 3 running backs active because of the inactivity of Kevin Mack for this game. Maybe we can see what happens to Fontenot as he breaks up inside. Looks like that foot just slid a little bit. There it is right there. It slid forward, and the knee hyperextended. You saw the knee hyperextend as that foot slid. And I noticed as I got down there on that turf earlier today, there are patches on that turf that are wet and soggy, and he just reached out with that foot, and it just slid on him and then locked up, and he hyperextended the knee.
So Fontenot with a great kickoff return and a touchdown on the block punt being tended to. Oh, next Saturday we have a sensational day of sport. The Sport of Kings, the Breeders' Cup Championship Series, will be at Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky. $10 million at stake. 7 races, of course, capped by the Breeders' Cup Classic. $3 million. I saw you studying the newspaper. You're going to send in your form.
I'm getting ready, but that's good news with Fontenot up. As hard as it is for me, Dick.
Yeah.
Should say 49er. I'm going to do it.
49er in the Classic against Ali Sheeb. It should be a great day. Join us on NBC next Saturday afternoon. 4 hours of racing. Well, New England now has opened up a sizable lead against the Bears, 23-7, and the Jets down 10-0 now lead 17-10. Here it's Cleveland 20, Cincinnati 13, final minute, 3rd quarter. To the tight end, Tennell at the 30. And that catch by Tennell reminds us that Ozzie Newsome, the veteran tight end, who has more catches than any man at that position in NFL history, has not caught a ball today. He came in with a streak of 135 consecutive games with a catch. That's second all-time to Steve Largent. The Seahawks' great receiver has 160 in a row. Newsome does not have a catch today. 2nd and 5, Cleveland. Final seconds. third quarter. Manoa. And a flag down. Manoa wrapped up after a yard gain. Clock stopped with 3 seconds. They work on Herman Fontenot.
Very fine play by Reggie Williams on that last down as he diagnosed that play so quickly and then drove hard inside to get a piece of the tackle. And we're seeing some outstanding plays, not only individually on the defense for both sides, but also team defense.
Holding number 77, offense, 10 yards.
Ricky Bolden gets the holding call. As you saw, Reggie Williams, there he is. What a great player out of Dartmouth, now in his 13th year. He's a councilman, a city councilman in Cincinnati, as most of you know, and he was one of 8 athletes last year who were honored by Sports Illustrated magazine as athletes that have really given through sports to society, and he is a giver. Reggie Williams. End of the third quarter. Cleveland 20, Cincinnati 13. We return to Cleveland Stadium after these messages from your local station. 2 more. That'll be the first time since 1970 that Cleveland has sold out 5 straight games. We open the fourth quarter. Cleveland leading Cincinnati 20-13 in a critical AFC division game. Bernie Kosar on second and long to Weathers. Clarence Weathers. Pushed out of bounds by Horton at the 30-yard line. What a day for Clarence Weathers. That's his 7th catch. About 150 yards and receptions for Weathers.
Watch the separation here as Weathers goes upfield and he just bursts. Look at that little burst of speed as he separates from the defensive back. The mark of the great receiver, the ability to catch up with that football. But again, it's the throw by Kosar to make that possible. That's Billups on the other side in a tough one-on-one situation with Brian Brennan. You can see why Kosar didn't throw it on that side.
7 catches, officially 140 yards for Weathers, averaging 20 a grab, and Kosar now will spend a timeout at the 30-yard line. What a day for Weathers. The first 8 games of the year, 7 catches. He's got 7 against Cincinnati today.
Everything else is just a life. By BMW, the ultimate driving machine. To arrange a thorough test drive, phone your nearest BMW dealer. And by Jiffy Lube. 45,000 drivers a day trust Jiffy Lube for oil, lube, and fluid service.
Cleveland Stadium. First minute, fourth quarter. Marty Schottenheimer's Browns have just cheered a 49-yard pass. Kosar to Weathers and a first down at the Cincinnati 30. Flag down. Screen to Ernest Biner. Tackled at the 25, but I believe the Bengals' Leon White had lurched offside.
Looked like 2 people offside for the defense. Let's go back and take a peek at that long ball. And I talked to Bernie earlier. I said, is your arm healthy? He said, I still have some pain, and the long passes, I don't have quite as much strength, but he throws the heck out of that long ball.
Number 51, defense, 5 yards, first down.
Leon White ticketed for the offside. It'll be 1st and 5 after 3 quarters. The yardage, the Bengals leading by 47 yards. But, of course, here in the fourth quarter, a 49-yard pass by Kosar to Weathers makes that about dead even.
And the rushing yardage that we said we would look at, the Browns have been able to control the running game of the Bengals here in the third quarter.
20-13, Cleveland leads. 1st and 5. It's Biner. First down to the 19-yard line, where he's hit by Tim Crumry, number 69, the former star at Wisconsin. Rams have 4 field goals, lead at New Orleans. Apparently New England's going to upset the Bears. Buffalo will go 8-1. The Jets trying to hold off Pittsburgh. Miami apparently will win at Tampa Bay in the Battle of Florida, and Atlanta trying to surprise Philadelphia. Marion Campbell, former Eagle coach, returning as the head coach of the Falcons. Manoa running through tacklers. to the 13-yard line. They had a chance to stop him right at the line of scrimmage.
Joe Kelly, number 58, missed the tackle. Came right up inside, got a good fill, and then Manoah just kind of sidestepped, just kind of jumped to the side. You'll see it from the end zone. Inside fill, number 58, right there. Look at that. Now Manoah just jumps to the outside, and Kelly, who had left his feet, was unable to get a hold of him and make the tackle.
Wilcox and Williams make the stop, 2nd and 3.
This is a good drive. Side saddle Bernie. Look at that foot back there.
Manoah inside the 10. That'll be close to a first down. Skip McClendon, number 72, on the early hit.
We talked about the size of the Cincinnati defensive ends. That whole front is a little bit undersized, and this big, strong offensive line for the Browns hammering on them right now and taking advantage of that physical size to move the ball down the field.
Saw Ozzie Newsome come in as Cleveland will deploy 2 tight ends, Newsome and Tennell. Ozzie Newsome with 594 career catches. None today. Manoah. Ooh. 1st and goal at the 6.
When they talk about running with power, this is what they're talking about right here. You don't want to step in front of Tim Manoah unless you're ready for a collision. Shoulders down. Look at that. Blows right through that tackle. That was Leo Barker, 53, and 2 other guys getting his way. He finally knocks them down. That's power running.
That reminds you of the old days of Marion Motley and Jim Brown, who would run that slashing off-tackle play.
There's some great ghosts wandering around this stadium.
1st and goal. Cleveland leading by 7. Manoah again.
Not this time.
No gain. Slowing up the play was Jim Scow, and then Tim Crumry, the nose tackle, there to make the stop. Crumry is quite a story, number 69 for Cincinnati, out of Wisconsin, where he was the leading tackler for the Badgers and all Big Ten. He wasn't picked till the 10th round by Cincinnati. He says that still haunts him. He's an achiever and an overachiever, and he now may be as good as anyone at that position. He and Manoah matched up on that last collision, and Manoah's carried 4 straight times on this drive. The last 4 at the 7-yard line. Manoah again. Guess who? Crumry.
Crumry again. Right back into the middle. They said he was too slow and too small. Not strong enough to be in that middle. But he just continues to make the great plays, and in part because he is not only so intense. There he is, 69 on Mercosi, 73. Look how he just unloads that blocker, sheds him, and then right shoulder to shoulder inside on Manoah. And you've seen what Manoah can do in terms of power. 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line.
David Grant, number 98, a rookie from West Virginia, gets the first sack of the game for Cincinnati.
Kosar slow getting up, Dick. Looks like he's limping a little bit. Shaking it off as he heads for the sideline.
And the field goal unit comes on. That was quite a stand defensively by Cincinnati.
Grant got by Larry Williams, number 70. To get in on Kosar. You saw Kosar taking a little shot on that leg. I think he's all right, though.
It will be a 29-yard attempt by Matt Barr, who has 2 today. Make it 3. So the Browns move ahead by 10 with 9 minutes to go. It's a slight groin injury. Bernie Kosar. Cleveland now leads by 10 in a game they almost have to win, as they said themselves. Otherwise, it's wild card time.
Certainly is. Ball in the air, and it's decision time for Sam White, Dick.
Good coverage by the Browns as the stop is made on the 15-yard line. Hillary hit by the on-charging Cleveland special teams, and the flag is down.
We've had a lot of laundry on the field today. Some of those calls have not gone as we would expect them. They're waving and pointing toward the Cleveland players here. Let's give Dick Jorgensen a chance.
Marty Schottenheimer in this crowd.
Personal foul, 15-yard face mask penalty on the kicking team, number 50. First down.
Van Waiters has had some trouble on the kick coverage. He gets another call. This is a major 15-yarder. Takes it out to the 30.
He's had 2 penalties. He was offside on an earlier kickoff. That's not the way you want to be mentioned as a rookie.
Oh, you got to figure Sam White will open it up now. He's down by 10 with 9 minutes, 12 seconds to go. A sack, and a flag is down at the 25. Clay Matthews, 57, and Buck Buchanan, that rookie, putting pressure on as well.
Matthews, a linebacker who bulked up 15 pounds this year, and they often use him as a down lineman, just blitzing in. He was the man on the leg at the bottom of the stack.
Holding, number 32, offense.
Stanley Wilson.
Second down.
Trying to help out Esiason. They decline it. They'll take the penalty. No changes in those scores. All in the fourth quarter now. No changes there. Tampa Bay has scored to cut Miami's lead to 10. You're up to date. Here it's 23-13 Cleveland. Another sack by Matthews. Clay Matthews back to back.
This Cleveland defense had 15 sacks in the last 2 games to really get things cooking here. You watch Clay Matthews. He got one of the sacks moments ago working on Wilson in there to get a piece of this last one, and boy, they are putting some heat on Boomer at the moment.
Matthews, the all-pro player from Southern California, that gives him 5 sacks for the year. And now 3rd and long for Esiason. 17 yards for a first down. He's got a man open, Eddie Brown. All the way to the Cleveland 47. Mark Harper made the tackle. So Esiason with a big throw, 30 yards on 3rd and 17.
Well, Bernie and Boomer have had their moments. Bernie has got his troops ahead at the moment, but look at that shot right there. Eddie Brown just knocked Minifield right off his feet. Minifield trying to play that physical game, and Eddie Brown said, no way, man. Knocked him down and goes downfield for the reception.
Midpoint of the final quarter. Cincinnati down by 10. Battling the crowd noise. Going long for McGee, and a flag down. They're going to call Dixon interference.
Dixon's style of football is very physical. He's lost a little of the great speed he had when he first came into the league. But he'll argue.
Number 29, defense, first down.
29 gets a 29-yard penalty.
He missed the bump at the line of the scrimmage, and if he misses the bump, he has trouble catching up. You see him playing the angle right there, deliberately hooking. That's what they called him for. Now you can bump with that arm, but you can't alter the receiver's course, which he did.
First down, outside the Cleveland 22. he can do a little rocking there as the tight end. He doesn't have to stay in that stance.
But he can't draw the defender offside, Dick. If he just changes his stance and gets back down, that's one thing. But if he jumps and draws the defender off, he can be called that way.
Well, Clay Matthews reacted.
False start, number 82. Offense simulated the play. 5 yards.
Yeah, and what they're saying is he made it look like the start of the play, and the defender moved instantly, so it goes against the offense.
First down and 15 for Cincinnati.
The late sun boiling in over the top of the bleachers here, right in the eyes of those running downfield, although they'll be looking back at their quarterback, so they shouldn't have any trouble seeing the ball.
Beautiful pictures, though, aren't they? The color of this crowd.
This is the way the game's supposed to be played, Dick. Fall afternoon, grass, history, tradition, all here.
Plus two outstanding teams. Esiason in a crowd extricates. And there's Matthews again to make sure he gets out of bounds down around the 20-yard line. And Esiason threw the ball, a little toss over to Matthews.
He just kind of dropped it over there.
To say, hey, I'm sick and tired of seeing you.
Matthews, as we mentioned, has bulked up and will get down into a three-point stance, play defensive end, gives this defense more flexibility. He has certainly been a force here today.
Handsome guy, Matthew, very quiet-spoken. His dad was a great player, of course, with the 49ers, a defensive player. And Bruce Matthews, who's watching down in Houston, getting ready to meet the Redskins later tonight, an outstanding offensive lineman for the Oilers. Complete to Brown inside the 5. Eddie Brown with another tough catch. Minifield and Wright were on him.
Brown has had 3 big catches right here in a row almost. And that one with great traffic on him. Boomer challenges the defense here. He's right back inside. 2 defenders with a chance at that ball. One there as the ball is thrown and one there late. That's Felix Wright, 22, who came in late to try and shake it out, but Brown hung on to it.
Eddie Brown, the leading receiver for the Bengals, 29 on the year, and leads them again today with 6. Inside Ickey Woods. We haven't been calling his name as Cincinnati down by 10 has had to go to the air game, and the Browns were tough inside. Carl Hairston, the 13-year veteran at defensive end, in on that tackle. Yeah, the boneyard.
A little bit of insanity down there in the end zone. I don't know that I'd want to go down there and spend too much time in those stands.
They're howling again.
Good leg.
Touchdown. No, he did not hang on. Rodney Holman. Holman could not hang on.
Rodney Holman has done a great job as a tight end for the Cincinnati Bengals. A good blocker, good catcher. He's a do-everything kind of guy. But he would love to have kept his hands on that football. Boomer has yet to get a touchdown throwing this year against this Brown defense. He thought he had one right there, and it should have been caught.
Anthony Griggs, 53, the cover man, 3rd and goal. Cincinnati has been put in the kennel by that Cleveland defense.
And there's the body style right there. You stack it up inside. Eddie Johnson, the assassin, right there to meet him as he came over the top. But there were at least 5 other Cleveland defenders stacking the line of scrimmage.
So Jim Breach, out of Turk Schonertold, will try a 27-yard field goal. And that pulls Cincinnati within a touchdown, but they wanted the 7 there and hope that they get the ball back for a field goal to tie it later. Boomer isn't happy. Who came in with 25 sacks, had 3 more today. And Boomer Esiason in Cincinnati frustrated once more. Twice they've had 1st and goal and have been able only to get field goals.
Again, I would say this: we have had some outstanding defensive play. You see Boomer is angry, not only himself, but just frustrated by the fact that they can't punch it into the end zone. They've done a good job of doing that all year long.
Fontenot's okay. He's back to return along with Glenn Young. They kick it toward Young, number 83. He's at the 12. All the way to the 43-yard line. Kick returns have been a key. And Sam White was worried about that. Ricky Dixon made the tackle. The Rams, on 4 field goals by Mike Lansford, have beaten New Orleans in a big game down in the Superdome. Fontenot hurt again. Philadelphia's gone in front of Atlanta. As you saw, New England 30-7 over the Bears. Cincinnati fans know about the Patriots at home. Flutie with 4 touchdown passes in that game. He's going to be 8-0 at Foxborough. Kosar starts at the 43. Good field position. Manoah for 3 to the 46. Joe Kelly and company on the tackle. Biner blocking in front of Manoah.
With 5:03 on the clock and ticking down, right now you've got to believe that they're going to try and mix as much running as they can in this drive to eat up that clock. Dick, when you talked about the success of the special teams, Kurt Schottenheimer, Marty's brother, the special teams coach here, should be taking a bow because they have really made some of the biggest plays in this game on special teams.
An 84-yard kickoff return to set up 1 touchdown and a block punt for another. So 14 of Cleveland's 23 points attributable to special teams. Kosar to Ozzie Newsome. That's his first catch of the game. 136 games in a row for the veteran from Alabama.
Kosar leveled by Carl Zander as he threw this football, but they love the Wizard of Oz here. You see him getting away from Leon White. Now watch this catch. Ball thrown low and away. Boy, that's like a catcher jumping out and grabbing one of those tough ones. Look at Kosar. He'll get dumped, but I think he knew that that ball was going to be caught.
Yeah. He wanted that for Newsome. They're all well aware of the streak. Second longest in the NFL is still alive. 3rd and 2. Brennan, first down at the Cincinnati 36, and the clock will run. 3:30, 3:29.
Like a surgeon, you leave a receiver open, and Brennan, a master at finding a hole in that zone defense, and Kosar, a master at finding the open man.
And the Browns not staying on the ground, Merlin Olsen. They're going to the pass.
Control. As long as you compete the pass, you keep that clock running. You're not going to the sideline. And I didn't expect him to run totally. That's not the way Marty works, and he's calling the plays here.
And Kosar perhaps changes more at the line than anyone and makes great choices. His percentage of success on audibles is like 90%. Whoa. Manoah. Hit by 4 Bengals. After a gain of 3, Tim Crumry again, the 268-pound nose man on the hit. And Cincinnati will spend one of those 3 timeouts to stop the clock with 2:40 left.
They've really got to start thinking about stripping the ball away here. You've got to protect that football in this kind of situation. They need a turnover badly.
And they can't afford really another first down, because then Cleveland would be in field goal range and could open a 10-point lead.
That's Carl Zander, the defensive signal caller, talking to Dick LeBeau. Sam White's listening in as well. But I'm sure what they're saying is get those people out there stripping at that football. See if we can't take it away.
Ahmad Rashad referred to this part of the season as down the back stretch and heading for home. And with another big slate of games next Sunday, here's our lineup on NBC. We'll hope you join us for 12 NFL Live at 12:30. Miami and New England, an early game along with Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. The Jets, Indianapolis, Kansas City at Denver, and Buffalo at Seattle. Cleveland will play at Houston. Double tight end, 2nd down and 7. Manoa breaks out of another tackle. He ran right through Jason Buck. Number 99 had him for a loss, and he just shedded Buck's try and gains about 4.
Jason Buck, Outland Trophy winner, had a terribly difficult rookie year. He's had a difficult day here as Manoa, showing us that great upper body power, finally pulled down by Solomon Wilcots. But Buck just took the shock and then made the mistake of trying to take the man on high. Buck, you got to go with his legs. Can't hit him high like that.
Yeah, they threw a buck in there and it came back with only about a nickel change. Let's go to NFL Live.
All right, Dick, in Tampa, the Bucs trying to rally against the Dolphins. At one point, they were trailing 17-0. Veteran Joe Ferguson getting the start at age 38. He goes 26 yards to Bruce Hill slanting over the middle, and that cuts the Dolphins' lead to 17-14. Back to Cleveland.
That was some fun down there in Tampa as the Buccaneers and Dolphins battle for bragging rights in Florida. Here it's the Buckeye battle between Cincinnati and Cleveland. And a very, very big play now. 3rd and about 1.5 yards. If Cleveland makes a first down, they pretty well can run out the clock. Cincinnati stops them. The Bengals still have a chance to get the ball back and drive for a tying touchdown. This is it. 3rd and a short 2.
This might be 4-down territory, though. They might go for it on 4th down, Dick.
Manoa, who else? First down. Behind Dan Fike, the right guard from Florida, Cody Rison, the Pro Bowl right tackle, number 63.
We talked about the physical advantage that the Cleveland offensive line has over that relatively small Cincinnati front. It's paying big dividends here with the power running and some good blocking up front.
2-minute timeout, and they start to celebrate in Cleveland. One of the treats on Halloween, isn't it, when you trick or treat? Well, it's time for our Most Valuable Player Award, sponsored by Budweiser, and it's M&M. Today's MVPs: Frank Minifield, the cornerback who blocked a punt for a touchdown, and his coverage was outstanding, and Tim Manoa with his running on the ground to maintain possession. Minifield and Manoa. Budweiser will make a contribution to United Way on behalf of those Cleveland MVPs. First down at the 24-yard line. 2 minutes to go. Cincinnati with only 1 timeout left. Manoa again protecting the ball. And the timeout, the last that Cincinnati can spend. So 1:55 to go. Cleveland leads by 7. Herman Fontenot, number 28. Cleveland a touchdown. And that's the difference in the game at the moment. 23-16. 2nd down. Cleveland. 8 to go. Manoa. I'm surprised here that Kozar just doesn't take the ball and kneel down, let the clock go, because you got the 45-second clock working for you. Budweiser NFL report to follow. If time permits, we're going to talk with Frank Minifield of the Cleveland Browns.
You see the way Manoa is putting those 2 arms on that football. You'd need a jackhammer to get that football loose from him.
Timeout called. I don't know why. Manoa has carried the last 5 times. The Bengals have lost only once at New England, 7-1. This game could just about put Cleveland out of the way in terms of the division title, but a win by the Browns puts them just 1 game behind Cincinnati with 7 to go. Well, let's go back to the ticker. You sure it's not a 5-minute ticker?
We've had a bunch of them today, but a day of decision in the NFL, some awfully big matchups, so many important games like this one with great bearing on divisional races.
Trying to figure out why the time was called with 1:30 to go.
I think it has something to do with the clock, as
Dick Jorgensen comes over.
He comes over to use the phone. He's looking for the phone upstairs. I'm sure they're wondering about the clock. Dick, coming into this game, I mentioned that people who have watched football for years here in Cleveland were so confident about this game. They were almost talking as if it was a foregone conclusion. Part of that, the great emotion of getting Bernie Kosar back, and we have seen what his presence does to this team. But they were inspired today. This has been a great football game, well played on both sides, but it's the Browns who've been able to come up with the big plays.
Some of the signs as we have a moment. Well, it was 24-17 Cincinnati at Riverfront. It's 23-16 here. These two teams obviously well matched, and with 7 games to go, it will be interesting in the Central Division, and Houston says they're not out of it either.
And those 2 points difference in head-to-head competition.
Operator didn't start the clock that time, so we're resetting it at 36, and we're going to wind both clocks.
If Cleveland wins, that's how it will look, with Houston hosting the Super Bowl champions tonight down in the Astrodome. Pittsburgh's game not finalist yet. Manoah with 86 yards rushing today. Now they're starting the clock at 30 and let it wind down, so Kosar won't take the snap until it's down to about a 103. Manoah again, short of the first down. And if you see 45 on there before they set the clock, the game's over. They haven't set it yet.
It's history.
That's the shot clock, not the game clock. Well, they don't have to run a play now.
It's history.
The report card, Kosar missed on only 10 throws, although he was intercepted twice, once for a touchdown. Manoah for the injured Kevin Mack. Boy, did he fill in. 89 yards and a touchdown. And Clarence Weathers, the game of his life, with 7 catches. Bengals, as highest in 50%, could not dent that tough pass defense for a touchdown. Brooks had 65 yards rushing. Brown had a half dozen catches. But the day belongs to the Cleveland defense and their fans. And young, and he is young yet, only 24 years old, Bernie Kosar. He has led Cleveland to 3 AFC titles in 3 years. No quarterback ever has gone 4 for 4 in their first 4 years in the league. And Kosar has positioned the Browns to do it again.
And as important as this game is, we've got to put it into perspective. It just brings these two teams one game closer together. It's still a long season, and Cleveland has got to travel down to Houston next week.
In fact, it's a difficult month of November for the Browns. They start playing Houston on a Monday night, and then they have to go to Denver. Remember them? Cleveland fans. Pittsburgh at home, and then at Washington. So they have a much tougher November schedule than Cincinnati. I don't know why the clock stopped there. It's 13 seconds showing on the game clock. So apparently they do have to run one final play. 4th down. Of course, the clock will stop as soon as there's a change of possession. So if Cincinnati stops the Browns, they will get one final play here. Manoah, final carry. He's down, and that'll stop the clock with 7 seconds to go, and Cincinnati will have a desperation play. Not many plays in the book for this one.
There are a lot of plays you can run. I don't know of any that you can run and get more than 7 points with, though.
Director today, Ted Nathanson. Producer, George Finkel. Thanks to Joe Costanza and company. John Betchkel, Pete Halvin, John Finn, Gary Chulek here in Cleveland. 7 seconds. First down, Cincinnati at their 17. Triple left formation. Underneath with 1 second to go. Incomplete. Ira Hillary did not catch it. So that was the plan by White, to try to get up some yardage upfield so that Gozanson could uncork a long one, but Hillary didn't catch the ball. One play to go, says Marty. Esiason goes down, and appropriately the defense ends the game for the Cleveland Browns. Michael Dean Perry makes the tackle, and the Cleveland defense goes down to the dog pound. Those are the fans that love them most of all down there, to say thank you for your support.
They certainly had a role in this big game today. You see Eddie Brown in midfield talking, McGee over. What a sweet victory for Marty Schottenheimer, for all of these Browns in this rivalry that's such a personal thing for them. Interstate, interdivision, two teams that know each other well, and now on the year, an even match.
They split. Cincinnati wins by 7 at Cincinnati. Cleveland wins by 7 in Cleveland. And I love you. That's to Marty's wife, I'm sure, and family watching. But he could really express that to some 80,000 fans here. This city is so hungry for a champion, and they've been close the last couple of years, led by that man Kozar. But their dreams have ended in the 6-letter word, Denver. And had they lost today, it would have been a very tough trip for them, but they positioned themselves now with a chance in this division.
It's not going to be easy. You recited that road schedule for them, but they do have so many things going for them, foremost among them a healthy Kosar, and he makes such a difference, and a defense that can stay with any offense in the league.
And Cincinnati has so many things going for them. It is only their second loss. Let's be reminded of that. They have talent. Offensively, they have talent running and passing the game, and that young defense can only get better. It's a better defense than most people had thought. They've really come together quickly.
You saw Hanford Dixon talking to Lewis Billups. We talked about the war of clippings between the two defensive backfields, and Dixon and Minifield had been remarkably cool during the week. They said, we'll let our play speak for us. And they certainly
we understand that Frank Minifield is hooked up down below. Frank, congratulations. The big play of the game was your block punt.
I appreciate it. I have to give all the credit to my coach. We designed it perfectly. We ran it early in the game, and one of the guys went the wrong way. But as you saw then, he went the right way, and we got the block.
Frank, one of the things I wanted to ask you, they were talking about Minnie Who in Cincinnati. Do they think they know the rest of your name now?
Well, I'm just glad a guy would take it upon himself to get me fired up for a game. There was no way I was going to come into this game and not play a great game today.
Well, Frank, your defense, pass defense was brilliant again, all pro caliber, and the block punt was really the capper. Congratulations to the Browns, their victory today.
I appreciate it.
Carry our congratulations, if you would, back to Coach Schottenheimer and all the rest of your teammates.
All right. I'd like to say hello to my mom.
Back in Lexington, Kentucky, Frank Minifield. Stay tuned for Budweiser NFL.